So just curious question, right? You mentioned that you don't like to think about the what if.
Correct.
But have you ever thought of like, oh, what if you became an
Oh,
environmental lawyer?
definitely. I mean, ultimately, it's a whole different life. I'll say it's a very, very harder life.
Right.
A lot.
You mean which one? As
an environmental lawyer.
Okay, yes.
Or just a lawyer in general. It's a lot harder of a life.
Right.
I mean, respect goes out to all my NUS law, SME law, even my LSE law friends. Like, it's hard, especially the first few years when you're on your TC, and then your first few years as an associate. Wow, it's hard, but I know that I'm the kind of person, like, all these adversity, all these struggles, I'll be able to overcome, because I'll say that I think one of my key characteristics is probably going to be like perseverance and like determination. So I will push through. But I mean, I always think about the what if, but honestly, like, when I think about it, I'm like, that life will be a lot more boring than the life I'm currently living. So when I think about entrepreneurship, I think like I think at the back of my head I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but you never know. Correct. So
makes sense,
I just realized that I fell into it and I love it. So I think everything just worked out.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. And I think something that I want to ask also is, do you always believe that you should all in at the start?
No, definitely no. I would say that you should only all in when you realize that what you're doing is what is right and perfect for you, and when you know that doing what you're doing is going to ensure that you're able to, at the very least, survive.
Right.
I don't even need to talk about thriving yet. It's just, it's enough for you to make ends meet, and you're doing what you love. I feel like ultimately there's also always a conversation about profit versus passion. Right? Do you do something in order to make more money, or do you follow your passion? And very, very often there's going to be a trade-off in between the two. For example, I have friends that hate investment banking. I have friends that hate sales and trading. I have friends that hate consultancy, but yet they do it because of the prestige, because of the profit. Correct? Even though it's not their passion, they know that they want to try other things. They know that it's not right for them. So I think in a way I'm very, very blessed, because I get the best of both worlds. I get passion and profit. But I feel that for most people, up to the point where they know what they're doing can ensure both passion and profit, I think that they should continue to not give 50% because they're not all in, but they can slowly transition. For example, I would say that if you're running a full-time business, you can just do things at the side, then see how it goes. And eventually, if the income you're making from that side hustle eventually overtakes your own income, then you can actually make more sense to jump over. Because if at 50% you're already like equaling, imagine you give your 100%, then maybe just using simple logic, then double your income. So I literally have friends, like I have a friend who's a vet. She's doing e-commerce. She's making like more than her starting pay.
E-commerce.
Correct. And I have other friends like in business school. They're doing all sorts of weird businesses, but they are making enough to like be higher than the median starting salary for a fresh grad. So I tell them, if you know that this is something they can see yourself doing long term, not like a short term money grab, but something that really 5 years, 10 years you can continue to do, and at least you're happy doing it, I think you can actually take that leap of faith. But until then, until you know that you're able to do it long term and survive, I think that you should just continue to dabble in it and understand whether this is really what you should be doing long term.
Right. Yeah. That's a pretty sound advice. Because I think a lot of people, like when they try to start something, sometimes they just like all in, and then like they can't even survive. Then they can't focus on their businesses.
Yeah, I think it should be a slow transition.
Right.
Like recently I hired two fresh graduates. One is very, very experienced in tutoring, so that one totally fine. I got another one, he knew he liked tutoring. He was tutoring all a while, but he didn't know if it was for him. So I told him, hey, how about you slowly transition, and like you can just teach a few classes first, because I mean he has the appropriate degree, so technical competency is definitely there. In fact, he took a H3 subject for the subject that he's taking, first class honours. So that guy, totally competent, has the soft skills. I told him, honestly, you look at my company success, you know that if you join us, you probably, if you do what we tell you to do, you'll be successful as well. But the question I have for you is, do you really like it? So we let him dabble a bit, and he realized that he loved it. So for him, I think it's because he knew that if he were to join us, is the chances of him succeeding is extremely high compared to if he were to just venture out on himself. So when he joined us, first month literally zero income. So that one is a bit like, okay, honestly, it doesn't really make too much sense, but I think for him, he understood that this is what he wanted to do long term. So, and then eventually within 2 months' time, he was matching his income at his public sector job, and now it's almost double. Wow. Is it double yet? Okay.
Like double the public sector job.
Correct.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so there are times where you can take leap of faith, there are times where you shouldn't, but it really depends on, I think it's too contextual, whereby different people have different circumstances, and therefore what they should be doing is different. So I'll say, don't take my advice as like general advice for everyone. I think it's really very important to speak to someone who knows their shit, so that they can give you actual advice based on your own predicaments. Yeah.
Okay. And one more thing you mentioned was about the confidence, right? How do you build up that confidence?
I think when I first started out, I wasn't the most confident. I think confidence is something that you need to build up. And like if you don't have the competency and you have confidence, I think sometimes it can lead to an unhealthy sense of ego. Right. So I'll say that for me, my confidence stems from the fact that I know what I'm doing is important. I know what I'm doing is right. I know what I'm doing is the most effective for the people that I am working with or I'm working for. So I feel like on a day-to-day basis, like I think this knowledge that what I'm doing is going to make a big difference in their life, and what I'm doing is the most effective way of going about doing things, that gives me my confidence on a day-to-day basis. So I think having a very, very firm conviction in what you're doing is very, very important. Yeah.
So like you feel like, or you believe that the way you're teaching the kids is really the best way.
How I'm teaching them, how I'm running my business in a very ethical and sustainable manner. Like how I am as a person. I feel that how I am is how I should be. So I think that gives me the confidence on a day-to-day basis, because people can call me out. People can say, hey Evan, I don't think the way that you're acting is right. Evan, I don't think that how you're teaching is right. Then for me is a case of, so how can I change? Like what suggestions do you have? Is this really true? So I feel like while it's important to have confidence, it's also important to always be a work in progress. I think that's one of the mottos I have, which is I want constant improvement. I don't want to stay in a stagnant state, because you can always improve and further better yourself. And I feel like while being confident, you must also make sure that you are ready to actually change and improve anytime you're given constructive criticism. I see. And kind of like, how do you know that you are the best? Like, what do you think? How do I know that I'm the best?
Okay, like rather like, okay, so because I also run this tuition thing, right? So sometimes like I also know that I'm doing the best, but like the outcome may be totally different. Okay,
I feel like,
how do you do with that?
I think for me, how I know I'm doing it the best is because of the results. I feel like we're in a very results orientated business, and like I think the distinction rate shows.
Okay.
Like for example, last year, I have so many testimonials and examples, but I don't want to like flaunt it, or like I cannot post it too often, because I want it to be, you come in, you experience for yourself, then you judge. I don't want it to be too salesy. I don't want them to say these are all my testimonies. I mean, I will tell them in a more general way, but there's a lot of stories that I have never shared before. So literally cases of, I'll just share like maybe 2 or 3.
Sure.
Like I think literally every single batch I take like a 0 percentile, whereby their teachers said, hey, don't even bother aiming for A, just aim for maybe a B. I just hope for a C.
Teachers tell the
literally the teachers, but I understand the teachers want them to be somewhat realistic. But literally I can take them from 0 percentile to an A within a span of 3 months. So that shows me what I'm doing is correct, because if their teachers had a full 2 years with them and they couldn't do anything, yet they come to me and I have this specific way of teaching, or this vastly different approach that gets them the A, that shows me that what I'm doing is correct. Alternatively, like last year, like I had a batch of like 25 to 30 like St. Andrew students. To give context, Saints is a decent school, but I'll say middle of the pack because you have all your top tier schools with like perfect O-level scores that you need to get into at the top. So like for Saints, their distinction rate wasn't that spectacular. It was
after going to
at SAJC itself, the average. So I would say, because they don't even publish, I'll say probably about 30% from what I know. So literally I had a class of Saints students. All of them came to me, all failing, but that class eventually 78% distinction rate. So I compare your school 30% versus me 78%, and all these statistics are all tracked I have an Excel spreadsheet for the year. So literally, all of them willing to do testimonials as well. So all is tracked. So they will literally like, when the teacher asked them, so, wow, you all got your A, very, very good job. How do you all do it? Then they just reply, oh, tuition. Yeah, and then obviously the teachers get a bit pissed off. I think school teachers always get pissed off about that. Yeah, so like, just some of these stories, like, I know what I'm doing is right. Like even when I talk about, let's just say, no offense, but even the lower tier schools like YIJC, even last batch, I like 5-6 of them, literally 4 of them got A. Wow. Only 2 of them didn't do as well. But I think ultimately tuition is like pie and parcel. Like I can do only so much. I'm not a magic pill, you know. But like it shows that if I have these kind of students coming in to me and I can still get them their A's, I can still get them the results, then it's effective lah. Correct. What I'm doing is effective lah. And I'll say because I run probably one of the biggest programs in Singapore, yet with so many students, I'm able to achieve this distinction rate. Then it shows what I'm doing is the most effective lah.
Right.
But beyond that, I think why I have so much confidence is because I really give my 100%. So the curriculum wise, we are doing a lot more than what we are paid for, a lot more than what we need to do. Because that's our conviction that what we are doing is literally we're telling the student we're giving you our near 100%. Correct? We're doing whatever we can. So literally during every single lockdown, first, second, third, this is the third lockdown. Instead of doing 1 lesson, we're doing 2 or 3 a week. And we don't even charge them extra. We said, hey, because now it's online lesson, okay, why want to teach the same lesson 6 times a week? Okay, how about I teach Monday, Tuesday 1 lesson, Wednesday, Thursday 1 lesson, Friday, Saturday 1 lesson. So literally you all can come for multiple lessons a week. So they pay for 1, they get 3. So in a year, instead of like, let's just say hypothetically 50 lessons, they come for 70 or 80 lessons because of the double lesson period. So literally the amount of preparation they get, the amount of exposure, it's vastly different from what they get in their schools. And if you compare someone who has been through 5 times, 10 times the workload or content versus someone that comes from your school, obviously there's going to be a very, very stark difference. So knowing that my tutors go the extra mile, doing more than what we need to, really gives me the confidence to say that we are probably doing it the best way. And it gives me the confidence to know that the lessons I'm doing, if it weren't for these lessons, the students won't get the grade that they would. So I think that really is what makes me wake up happy every single day, knowing that what I'm doing has a genuine impact on the lives of the people I'm working with. And I feel like I won't say confidence. I think I'm shifting away from confidence a bit. This conviction is something that resonates within all my tutors, who really all of them will go the extra mile just to make sure that the grades are good. I think confidence is something that's built over time. It's not something that can be immediately there. And if it's immediately there, I would say it's most likely not confidence but ego.
Right, makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, and just backtracking a bit, I'll get into like, you know, how you got your team and stuff, but backtracking a bit, so you were doing this alone for quite a while, right? How was that like?
I think it was scary at the start because you have no one to actually fall back on. You have only yourself, and then but that actually means that if you don't give your 100%, if you don't really do your best in every single aspect of the business, then you're going to fail. So if at the start everything I handle, I just gave my 100% for everything. And it takes time, but eventually other people can see your own conviction, other people can see where you're progressing, and other people will want to join your team. And like I'm actively hunting for people who will fit the mold, for people who can play a role. Because ultimately, while I am building a business, I feel like more importantly, I'm building a legacy. Not only for me, but for all my tutors, because they know that what we're trying to build, which is going to go beyond just a conventional tuition center, which is going to go beyond just a conventional school, is something that will leave an impact on future generations. And I think that's my long-term vision, really not just temporary change for our current generation, but to really make sure that I leave something for the future, which is even the kids. Correct.
It's more of the system.
Correct. The system, the technology, the entire infrastructure for future generations. I feel like I don't want to think of it only short term. I want to see myself. So I want to ask myself, where do I see this going 10 years, 20 years? And I really know where we're headed towards. Yeah, so at the start it will be tough. That's something that is definitely going to be the case unless you are blessed to have more resources, unfair advantages, but that's just how the world works. Like, you can't go up to someone and say, hey, you're rich, so like screw you, have these opportunities I did not have. I feel like even for me, I come from a decent but not affluent background. Like like I don't have any clear advantages. I always tell people like I don't have any particular skill sets that really makes me stand out. But knowing that I don't have a clear distinct advantage made me work double or triple as hard, because I know that people who have the advantage, they can probably work like 50% or 60% as hard and still do better than me. But for me, I need to make sure that I give it my 100% and really constantly improve, so that I can actually match and overtake these people who started out with a more unfair advantage.
Makes sense. Actually, that's quite interesting. So you kind of use what your, lack of better phrase, lacking to use that as a spurring energy for yourself.
Correct. Okay. So like even like my ability to speak well, I wasn't born with it. I was born with a speech deficiency. So when I was young, I didn't even dare to talk. But like because in JC I decided to do drama as a subject, so I that actually helped me to improve my speaking competency lah. And then at the same time, am I the smartest? Not really. Like literally when I compare all the tutors at my company, I'm probably in the bottom 3 for PSLE score. Probably bottom 3 for O-level score as well, because I have like 3 RJ, I have like 6 or 7 Hwa Chong grads. I got multiple first class honors. Like I got even like people like literally I think half of my team are scholars.
Wow.
So I'm really at the bottom. So like I'm not someone who's particularly smart. I don't speak well. I don't even have that like I'm not tall, dark and handsome, the attractiveness that like some like students will care about.
Like the physical charisma.
Correct. So I literally have nothing. So I realized that it's because of my lack of advantage, I had to work even harder.
Nice. Yeah, that's quite inspiring. And okay, so can you share with me what you consider to be your first milestone?
I think my first milestone would be when I think the first milestone is just opening a company because technically it was about 2.5-3 years in. And when I opened the company, milestone in a way that I got my first unit. Like I realized that this is going to be my first unit. This is where all the magic is going to happen over the next few years And that one unit soon became 2. At the end of this year, probably going to become 7 or 8. But I think the first unit is what really let me know that this is possible
It's like legitimate
Correct.
I see. Okay, and so something that I kind of realized, I read a lot of like these books, right? I mean, you share with me that you also do that. But like something that I realize always happens is that once for some reason you reach some level of success, there's usually like some pretty bad downfall or struggle that happens. Example is like Steve Jobs after he made Apple became quite successful. He was like kicked out. Has something like this ever happened to you?
I think for me, I haven't had a very, very big, drastic downfall.